Hi, I'm Joseph Marsh from PythonHardware, and today we are going to be doing a quick unboxing of the 2 to 3 year old G910 Orion Spark from Logitech. Now, the age, 2 to 3 years old, that's kind of old, but it's actually not that old, and to me, it's still a very modern keyboard. In fact, a lot of people still buy these today. So, the features of this keyboard, just go over the box really quickly. So you have G910 Orion Spark, RGB mechanical game keyboard, you have the Logitech logo on the bottom, and you have on the top right the type of switch, which is a Roamer G switch. It is Logitech's in-house key switch design. On the back, you just have a diagram of the key switch, and all just the features, including like the arcs. But for now, let's just get this thing unboxed. Put that on the floor. So when you first take it out of the box, you'll get this just black, cardboard box. Opening it, however, will reveal, of course, the keyboard. Let's get this out. So we'll just it should be openable, if I am not mistaken. If not, we can just pull the cable out. There we go. Over there. So, other than the keyboard, what you'll get is a G910 Orion Spark setup guide, which in theory should just explain your product, how to plug it in. It talks about the programmable keys, the RGB, and stuff. And of course, you have everyone's favorite compliance and warranty guide. What do we do with those? We don't care. So, here it is, the keyboard itself. It is in this plastic bag. So you do just kind of rip it open. That might be the wrong way to do it, but as long as it's open, right? So we will succeed in getting the keyboard out of its protected. And don't forget about the USB ports, which is a kind of a hassle. Oh, right, am I hassle? Kind of just rip. Now, one thing I really don't like about packaging is, I know you're not supposed to reuse packaging in a way, but I really don't like how it's just, movable and stuff like that. While Corsair has a different way of packaging it. So, here we have the keyboard. Just put it on there and I'll give you a little view. So, let's just go over everything, as quick as possible, or less. So, you have, of course, your keyboard using the Roamer G. So it's, kind of tight. There actually should be more accessories. Wow. Alright, so I already have one complaint about this keyboard. There is no accessories, actually. I think there are 2 versions of this keyboard. One of them actually comes with a bigger wrist rest, and I think a keycap holder, but I think we can just pull this off of a key, and there's a little diagram of, or, a little view of the key switch, which is, really cool to see it. It's different from, say, a Cherry MX keyboard. So over here on the left side in the top, you have the programmable cheat keys, which you can download Logitech gaming software off Logitech's website and download it and run it, and you can program these keys for macros and keyboard, action stuff. On top left, you have modes. You can have up to 3 modes, and there's a quick macro button, so you can click that, and you can have Control Delete, and then you hit it again, and you can assign it to one of these keys, which is neat. So we went over that. So here's the Arc Dock release system. This is designed to work with your phone. So we'll just put my phone. Now it kind of looks stupid, but what you're supposed to do is download the Logitech Arc software, and you can use that to see critical information of your system, such as your CPU temperature, CPU usage, memory usage, time, whatever you really want. You can put it on the Arcs, and it's really easy to link. I think it's really cool, considering that Logitech went from LCDs to, just using your phone. On the right here, you really can't see the diagram, but there's a little, well, it's like a joystick. You use this to control the Windows key lock. So if it's on, which it should light up, you'll be able to hit Windows key, but nothing will happen. If it's off, of course, you can use the Windows key and the start menu will show up. That's designed so you don't hit it by accident when you're in the heat of a battle. Right here you have the brightness adjustment button, which is just a little simple button. Probably has like 3 modes of brightness. On the very top right, you have your media keys. So you have play and pause, stop, go back, and go forward. And you also, so let me get a view of that, right? And over here, below the multimedia buttons, you have more multimedia controls. So you have the mute key, which is really convenient, and you have a volume slider knob, which I personally find better than, say, having to hold a key and then just hit something over and over, like on this Red Dragon keyboard over here. You see, you have to hold F, and then, yeah, I personally prefer this more because it reminds me of when I used to have my Logitech G910. Now, so the weight of the keyboard, as heavy as the box felt, it's not that heavy. I mean, it's built, you know, pretty well. I mean, it's built with plastic and probably has some metal internals inside to keep it from, you know, shattering everywhere like a generic plastic keyboard you get at Walmart or something. Alright, so here we are at the Logitech gaming software, which is a free download you can get off Logitech's website. Pretty easy to find, and really quick installation, no issues at all. It does say you had to restart, but we didn't restart and it seems to be working fine. I like to note that when you download the Logitech software, you may or may not have to do a BIOS flash, or I mean a firmware flash for the keyboard, which is really simple, and it's not just like a struggle at all, so I mean, that's just a fair warning. So here we are at the Logitech gaming software homepage, if you will. So you can see we have all the different things we can click on, and these all correspond to all these areas. So let's go to these. Yeah, this should be the programmable keys. Now you have all these. You have all 9 keys. Actually, I'll make sure because I'm not sure. Yes. Okay, 9 keys. All right. So you can program all of these to do, you know, clicking and all that stuff. And it doesn't have to be these preset commands. You can make a thing. So we can do like Control-Alt-Delete, which will of course open up the Control-Alt-Delete menu on Windows. And you can set the repeat options. So while pressed, toggle, or none. You can set the delay. There's also multi-key, which means you could do like, which it'll kind of look weird, but there's a lot of good uses for this part of it. You can do text block, which basically just set, so say you can do hello, and every time you click, you know, the key you have set, it will say hello. And you can, you know, have all these different options. Of course, the same repeat options. You have mouse function, which I really don't see why you would use this. I think you would rather use this on like a Logitech mouse. This is not a Logitech mouse. This is a Zoe mouse. But you would rather have that as a preset button. You have your media commands, which I really don't see a point for unless you have a smaller keyboard without the multimedia controls. Oh, by the way, yes, it does work. The little knob is very smooth and very, very responsive, and see, it actually goes by increments of 2, which I think that's just a Windows thing or this thing, and it's obviously analog, so it's not nice and smooth. You have shortcuts, which kind of is like a throwback to the old days of computer programming with older computers. Terminals, they had like a bunch of buttons on the left side, and you could click one and, like, see, hitting F1 actually just opened up the LGS guide, which I'm pretty sure is a preset button. Yeah, G1. I guess it's the same thing as hitting F1. Yes, by default, the G through 9, G1 through G9, are preset to the F keys. So
like G1, F1, G2,
yep,
F2,
yep,
etc.
So then you also have function, which is pretty cool, I guess. I mean, you have email, web browser, media player, calculator, my computer, etc. That was my phone. It's also another throwback to like the older keyboards you get with your computers, like, you know, pre-built computers. For some reason, the keyboards will always have freaking a gigantic email button. You just slap it and it'll open Microsoft Outlook. Pretty cool, but who cared? And you actually have a specific thing for Ventrilo, which is nice because you can set your commands. You can have it to unmute and mute your microphone, your sound. And you can also have a button to push to talk, and it's integrated into Ventrilo. Alright? So, of course, in order to, let's just do a quick demonstration. Let's be cool. We're going to do function, we're going to do web browser. This should open the default web browser. Now, it's really easy to program these buttons. So all you have to do is find what you want to program, say the web browser. You just drag and drop like that. And in theory, if we hit G1, it should, yep, it opens the default web browser that your operating system has set. And of course, if you just want to unbind that, you can use generic and it'll reset it back to defaults. Now, the next thing we're going to use is the profile manager itself. Now, by default, of course, Logitech will have a default profile, which is set to, we'll get onto lighting later, but as you can see, is in a full spectrum mode, which I think is a good way to demonstrate the keyboard's lighting capability. This shows you profiles, but also shows you the game buttons. And this actually lets you define, at least, yes, you can define which key is going to be disabled when you turn on the game lock button, which is what's called. As you can see, it'll light up when it's active. So we'll demonstrate. I will hit the Windows key and nothing will happen. We'll turn it off. The Windows key will work. And of course you have the, I'm actually not sure what this key is called. If anyone wants to say in the comments, and go right ahead, but that key, it's essentially like a right click, but that'll also be disabled. And of course, you know, again, you can set whatever keys you want to be disabled, so if there's, you know, a key that is not, you know, in your favor, you can disable it. Now let's get on to what everyone craves about when it comes to just anything today, the RGB capability. So you have 5 different lighting modes you can choose. You can have freestyle, which allows you to change the keyboard dynamically, which does not seem to be applying. Oh, you have to select it all, and then you can dynamically change, so we'll just go through a full cycle. Oh, I guess you have to select everything, and then you can set it to like green, and then you can go back to blue, maybe pink, because that is a color right there. Alright, but of course, it's really customizable. You can control each of these keys, except of course the multimedia keys and stuff like that. We'll go in the next mode, which is the lighting mode, or the zones, should I say. This is designed to give you basically the zones of like what keys you'll be using in games most time. So you have WASD, which is standard FPS controlling. Arrow keys, I don't know if there's any first-person shooters that use it now, but I know Elite Dangerous uses these keys, so there's that. You have 1 through 0 lit up. You have Shift, Control, Windows, Alt. Your G keys are of course lit up, and it's basically just designed, you know, to keep your fingers, you know, touching the right keys instead of, you know, just going all over the place. And you can, of course, you can change all. You can make your own zones, so and modify them at your will and change your color, which I actually think is personally a lot better than using Corsair Q2, because I have a Corsair Strafe RGB myself, and in order to get something like this, you have to do it manually, and it's not my favorite to deal with. So that's a really neat thing. And we're going to go into the commands. Now this is something I really haven't seen, and I really don't know. But it looks like it has to do with, like, if a game uses certain keys, it will light up said keys. I'm pretty sure this is something that you have to make your own profile or download a profile, which, by the way, you can download profiles for these keyboards and from the user community, and they usually have, like, you know, some good stuff right there. Of course, you can change all the lighting stuff. You can have show active game keys, and yeah, that's pretty simplistic. Now, this one is the effects. Now, this is where everyone really gets crazy about. I don't understand. So right now we are on color wave, and you can change the direction it goes in. So it'll go vertical, and then we'll go center out. Cool, I guess. And you can make it go slower, like painfully slow. Or you can make it go really fast if you want to get a seizure. Let's go back to kind of default. Now, you also have fixed color, which is my favorite kind of thing, because I really don't like freaking flashy, you know, looking things. So, there we go. So now we just have a red keyboard, which, you know, that's kind of my taste.
Take a note that the logo, the G910, actually changes colors.
Yeah, the G910 logo actually lights up, and what's even cooler is how, like, transparent it is. You can actually see through instead of just being like a solid piece of plastic, which is really cool. All right, so we're gonna go into breathing, which is it just cycles. You know, it's a breathing effect. How do you describe that? You can make it go faster, which is kind of stupid. You can make it go slower. That's pretty cool. And of course, you can change the color to be red, which I personally like. Finally, we will go to color cycle, which is basically just it's really simple. It just goes through every color for the entire keyboard. It's not dynamic. How would you describe it? It's simple. I like the simplicity. You can make it go slower, faster, and then you have color wave, which we were just at, and we have something called key press. Now, this is pretty cool, because when you type, it'll actually light up the key, and then it'll slowly fade away. Now, on my Corsair keyboard, you can have so when you type, it like explodes like a firework, which is pretty cool, but not that bad. So just do that, and of course, you can make it go faster to fade a lot faster. Change it back in color in the key press color, and yeah. I think that's about it for this one. And this is the... Oh, before we move on to the next effect, I would just like to say about the size comparison. This is Micah's personal keyboard that he uses, and compared to the G910, it's pretty large.
Yep.
But I've had larger, just saying. Here we are at the last thing, which is your effects. Now, it comes with a bunch of preset effects. And contrasting, which looks like that. Bleep Blop, which is just what?
Candy Crush, or whatever that's called.
Yeah, whatever the old people play nowadays. Countercode, which that's pretty cool. Data Fall, which is reminiscent to The Matrix. It's a bit slow. Oh, you can actually change stuff. I didn't know that. So you can have it like bounce back and forth and reverse it, randomize it, and okay, that's a bit concerning. Explosion, which is just an explosion of sorts. Fire. Lightning, which I think is actually my favorite effect. Ocean Wave, which is just the ocean. Rainbow Ripple. Well, man, I'm tripping. Red, white, and blue. If you really love America, this is the most perfect America keyboard you can get. Alright. Scanner. Sign. There's a lot of presets. I don't think we're going to go through them all. And finally, let's go over the last feature. Unfortunately, we could not do anything with the arc stock, which is kind of upsetting because I want to see how that worked, but we don't have any devices, at least any devices that have any battery life, as my phone has only 5% and it would die immediately. But it's really cool. Now this is the, what do they call this? The input analysis. Oh, okay. So say we're like playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Side strafing, space, jump, we die, B, free, Q, and we'll just stop that, and you'll see it basically makes a heat map of what keys are used the most. So you can see, obviously, in most FPSs, WASD will be the most used keys in that game. And of course, I'll also show a bunch of other stuff, and also has key duration heat map, which will show what key is held down the longest, which in most cases should be W if you're playing a first-person game. And I think this is really cool because you get to see what keys you should have like lit up, which keys are the most important. If you can't, like, you know, remember which keys are the most important, even though you should. I think this feature is really neat. You can also change the color. I didn't know that. Penn State. McDonald's. Yeah. Okay, I should stop making jokes now. All right. So that's about it for the software. And I think that actually concludes this video, so thanks for watching.
Please support our Patreon!